Okay, so happy Thursday night. It's May 21st already. I can hardly believe that May is 3 weeks over and we're sliding into summer. So, yeah, actually, I am getting some background. If you guys can just make sure that I'm going to mute you. I think you. All right, I got you guys muted. Much better. Anyways, we are sliding into summer, and I have been keeping you guys updated like crazy in our team page, with all of our promos going on right now. If you are having any trouble with Success Club this month, I am encouraging you guys to start pounding the PIO deal. This is how I promote it. If someone's giving me any kind of a price objection, I always promote PIO as an extra, basically a free gift that they're going to get with Shakeology for the month. Because by the time, I've told you guys, by the time they break down the cost and they don't have to pay for the extra shipping and all that, it equals out to be about the same price. So I've sold a couple PIOs, and always the 21-day fix. Like, it's just $160, in my opinion. It's a steal, and that's really all that I promote. So there's nothing that's been changing. I've been getting several private messages, and you see in our team page people, with the price objections, the timing. It's the time of year. I looked back on my Success Club points from last May, and I was down about 10 points compared to where I normally was from January through April. So know that, it is. Think about your own lives right now. It's going to be a little bit of a push because people are graduating. Kids are about to get out of school. People are just gearing up into summer, but pretty much I'm going to say now through the beginning of June, you're going to notice that as long as you're keeping up with your posts and you're continuing to invite, women are going to be, and men, but mainly women, you're looking at yourselves in the mirror and we're kind of like, oh yeah, I could use a little tightening, a little toning. I'm putting my bathing suit on. So be consistent. Offer, those follow-ups. I'm telling you guys, follow up between usually 5 to 12 times is my rule of thumb. And I'll offer free recipes. I'll just send my blog posts or like a recipe from my blog. Just free information. Hey, how are you? So that way they know that you're adding value and you care about them and who they are. You're never just trying to get a sale from anyone. So those are my little tips. You guys, we still have 10 days. That is more than enough time to pull out Success Club. And our leaderboard, there's so many people of our team members who are literally sitting at Success Club 2, 3, and 4. So I know you guys are working and pushing so hard. So just use these little incentives and this little, night of motivation to get you guys really pumped up and put you over that edge. So our highest Success Club earner so far on our team is Tammy Bolesky at Success Club 15, Julie Hawley at Success Club 14, Natalie Tellish, Jen Guthrie, and Heather Knapp all at Success Club 12, Erica Miller at 11, and then Amy Martin and Danielle Tucker. You guys are rocking it with Success Club 10. We had a few rank advancements today, so congratulations to Gina Karaki for achieving Diamond today, and then Brianne Stein and Carol Ann Burkhardt. Both of you achieved Emerald rank. I'm so pumped for you guys. It's awesome. And as of today, we are currently at 1,010 coaches on Legacy United. So that, guys, in itself, I am speechless. This is amazing. 2 years in the making, and look at what we are achieving. So the sky's the limit. Dig that passion because I know that you all have it in you, and just kill it at the end of the month. So I am going to turn it over to our amazing guest speaker. I'm so excited to hear Brad tonight. I might get winded. I'm going to have to sip on my water over here, with all of his cool recognitions. Yeah, cheers. So Brad is a 3-star combined lifetime diamond. He has 23 months consecutive in Success Club. He is a Success Club All-Star. He has been to Summit, Leadership, and the Success Club trips each 2 times. In 2013, he earned 179 Success Club points. In 2014, he earned 294 Success Club points. So this dude is rocking. He has been in the 21 Day Fix infomercials, the 21 Day Fix test group. He is one of the awesome dudes up on stage with Autumn at most of her appearances, and he is the founder of Reach Nation. He's an insanity instructor, and he quit his full-time corporate job just 8 months into his business. So he is going to rock our world tonight. I'm so excited. Brad, take it away.
Woohoo! This is exciting. Legacy United, what's up? I love that name. Congrats on 1,010 coaches. That's basically epic status. That's amazing. We're pushing for that number. That's going to be a big goal for the next few months. Can you guys all hear me okay? Yeah, everyone can hear me? Cool. So I'm sitting here in my childhood bedroom. I drove up to Chicago today for a couple of weddings from a couple of buddies back home. So the blue and yellow paint is something I did when I was in high school. So I'm back home with staying with my old man today. So I get to talk to you guys from kind of where I grew up. Anyways, Val, seriously, thank you so much for having me on the team call, and it's really a privilege. If I start burping a little bit, it's because I have beer. So if I just go like this, that's a burp, just so you guys know. Anyways, I'm pumped to talk to Legacy United tonight and get you guys fired up and help you out in any way that I possibly can. And hopefully you find this valuable and inspirational in some way, and this can help you move your businesses forward. So I'm going to kind of dive right in. And newer coaches, if there's any new coaches on the call, don't be afraid of me. I might seem intense, but I promise it's because I get super passionate and excited, and I'm going to go fast. So don't worry about writing down crazy amounts of notes. You guys will have the recording. But Val, how much time do I have?
You're good. We usually take about an hour. So you've got, 40 minutes, whatever. You do it. You do your thing.
Awesome. Cool. So anyways, I really appreciate the introduction, and it was nice of you to go through like all those things and kind of share some accolades and different things that have happened throughout my coaching career. But I don't think that any of those things really showed, any of those things that Val just said really showed any of the failure that I've gone through to get there. And I remember as a brand new coach, I was seeing all of those top leaders, with these super awesome accomplishments walking across stage, and they were being recognized for a lot of different things. And I was like, holy crap, that's amazing. That's insane. How are they doing that? And over the course of time, as I grew my business, I started to realize exactly what they were doing and their mindset on a couple things that holds a lot of people back. How many of you guys are newer coaches on this call? Are there any newer coaches on here? Relatively new? Oh, this is going to be fun. So this is a big point, guys. The only reason why Val was able to say those things about me, or why you guys have crossed the 1,000 coach mark, or why Val's an elite coach, or Lindsay Matway, or Autumn Calabrese, or any of these top names, in Beachbody. The only reason why they're where they are right now is because they probably failed the most at what they do. Listen to this. Your leader, Val, she's the biggest failure out of all of you. She's the biggest failure. Val, you're a failure. That's super critical to understand. All these people that achieve massive amounts of success, they're just professional failures. So the only reason why I am where I am today is because I accepted failure as a way to get to my goals. And without failing so many times, over and over and over again, there's no way I could be where I am now, and none of us could. So if you're afraid of fear, or you have this fear of failure, you need to dive into personal development and really just own that, because it's truly the only way that you can learn and grow in this business. I'm not sure if you follow me on Facebook or not, but when you see my Facebook or Lindsay Matway's Facebook or any of these top coaches' Facebook, yeah, they're being, vulnerable and sharing struggles, but you also see the super positive and inspirational things all the time. It mostly shows the successes, right, that they've had along the way. I want to clear something up right now. You cannot compare your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. When you see someone else's Facebook and this person achieved 10-star diamond rank, you don't see all the bullshit they go through every day. You don't see the struggle and the failure. That doesn't show the painful, mundane amounts of work that they're doing all the time. So what I want to do with you tonight is share over the last 2 years, different failures that I've actually gone through. I actually have a list, let me pull them up here, that I've gone through to show you how failure is really the only way that you can achieve success. So here we go. The first 3.5 months in my business, I had to call in favors to hit Success Club. There were a lot of weeks where I would sign up, 3, 4, 5 coaches, and the following week they all returned their orders and quit. There used to be Facebook groups that were started to make fun of me. I was defriended by over 400 people in my first 3 months coaching because I did not know how to use social media the right way. I struggle with compulsive overeating. So actually following a workout program is a royal pain in the ass. I used to let Beachbody come in the way of my relationship with Janice for a really long time, and it caused a lot of problems with us, and she resented Beachbody for a while. I really struggle with time management. It's one of my absolute worst skill sets. My first 6 months in the business, I didn't know how to run a challenge group. I don't know if you guys can ever relate to this, but it was one of those things where you would literally you would try to run a challenge group and it would be literally just you participating the entire time. And that was it. There was one time where I advertised a fit club to over 500 people for 6 weeks in a row. And the most people that ever showed up were 3. And the majority of the time it was just 1. And that was Janice, because I made her go. Janice is my girlfriend. There was a 3-week period where I sent out over 300 Facebook messages and received 1 response total. All the other ones said seen at 5:02 p.m. I know you guys have probably seen that a couple times on Facebook messages. Last month, we had 11 coaches quit on our team. When I got back from Summit last year, one of the leaders on our team told me that they completely disliked my leadership style. They didn't think I was a good leader. They didn't feel a sense of team camaraderie, and one of my diamond coaches quit. And probably my biggest failure, and this is the reason what I want to talk to you guys about tonight, is the way I used to work with my coaches. And it's the thing that I would have corrected going back, because I did this. Everything I'm going to tell you tonight, I did not do this for almost 2 years. And that's why for the last 5-6 months, I've basically been rebuilding my business because I didn't build the right way. And that's a topic for a reason, because it's my biggest failure. So I want to talk about that in a minute, but all that stuff sounded relatively harsh, right? It sounded kind of, damn, that's a lot of stuff to go through. But I'm excited about it. And why? Because you cannot succeed in Beachbody without failing. Failure is merely an opportunity to start again more intelligently. Henry Ford said that. I want you to embrace that, because if you are not willing to fail every single day, way more than you succeed, then you are not willing to build a Beachbody business. That's a fact. Failure is the best thing that can happen to you. It's the only way you can learn and grow. Val fails all the time. Melanie Mitro fails all the time. Lindsay Matway fails all the time. Trust these guys. Listen to them. Don't make excuses and let everything they say go in one ear and out the other. They're just sharing with you through their failures what's best for your business. When you see all these top coaches, understand you're staring at their highlight reel. You aren't seeing the unsexy, mundane amounts of work and all this failure that they experience on a daily basis. So let's go through that and talk about that last one on the list of epic failures that I talked about. And that's how I interact with my team. So how many of you guys, and I always love pulling up these questions and asking you guys, how many of you guys have ever gotten, signed up a coach and gotten really excited because they're all on board, and then they sit there and they do nothing? Anyone? Hang on, let me get my questions out again. Yeah, I do that for a while. How many of you guys ever wondered, why the heck is this person not doing anything? I'm pouring myself into them. They have so much potential. Why are they not doing anything? Anyone? Raise your hand. Anyone? Yep. Someone on a plane right now? That's dedication. And Gina, you're the one that just rank advanced to diamond, right? Oh, dude, props to you, girl. That's awesome. How many of you, seriously, I want to take a screenshot of this and send it to my team. How many of you guys ever feel sometimes like you're pushing a rope, you're going as hard as you can, but the rope's just bending. It's not going anywhere, and it's kind of a big pain in the butt sometimes. Or what about you find that you're spending your time thinking okay, if I could just find a better YouTube video or come up with some better Coach Basics training, or plug them into a different system, or maybe if they heard it from this person, they'd be so successful and they'd just be a rock star. Okay, I used to think that for a long time. Let me be the first to tell you that you are completely wasting your time. And I know this from experience. I've been in this business for 26 months, and the first 20, I was doing that. And guess what I found? I was not duplicating at all. So I want you guys to know something. Write this down. It is not your job to babysit your team. It's not your job to babysit your team. It's your job to find prospective talent, plug them into a duplicatable system, which you already have on Legacy United. You already have a duplicatable system. It's clearly working because your team is growing. Coach Basics, Emerald to Diamond, and give them tips and mentor them when they need it and teach them to do the same thing. Your job is to give them the opportunity to succeed, not make them succeed. Give them the opportunity to do it for themselves. What I used to do is I used to go in spurts, right? I would recruit like crazy for a month or two, and I'd bring in a bunch of people, and I'd work really, really hard on kind of just mobilizing all of them, right? I'd try to get these 10 people, these 5-10 people to all do something. This person's hitting Success Club, this person's not doing shit, this person's going all out, and this person's sitting there too, this person sold 1 challenge pack, and I'm trying to get all of them to do it. I'm convincing them to join these basics groups and convincing them to work harder on their goals. And I use that keyword convince. If you're spending your time convincing your coaches, something is going wrong, because chances are your time is being spent incorrectly. You should never have to convince someone to do this. You're wasting your time. And when I was a brand new coach, my coach, Jessie Vandenberg, told me this. She's a 3-time elite coach. And she told me this. And I was so confused because I had, 2 coaches on my left, both discount coaches, and 1 coach on my right, and that person was working the business. I had 2-3 coaches on my team at the time, and it was slim pickings, right? And I wanted them to succeed so incredibly bad. But I wish I had listened to her, because my team would be so much bigger than where it is now. We'd be passing that 1,000 coach mark. We wouldn't be rebuilding. We wouldn't be stuck where we were for almost a year. It's not your job to get your coaches to make them do something. It's your job to recruit like crazy. So what I'm going to do with you right now is share with you guys some things that will help you in recruiting like crazy, and kind of the mindset you need to have in that area. So I want to start out with like how to improve those numbers. When you start off a coach, number one, when you start off a coach, the how-tos don't matter nearly as much as the reason why they're here. The how-to, I always tell my team this, the how-tos don't mean shit. I'm just going to be straight with you. They don't mean anything compared to why that person is here. John Maxwell always talks about no one cares how much you know until they know how much you care. When you start a new coach off, it's got to be emotional. What I always do is I get them picturing their life and what would happen if their life changed. I dive into their why so incredibly deep, and my goal is to get them crying. Don't tell my team this. My goal is to get them crying on their getting started call. Because if you focus on emotions, not how to, they have a reason for staying. Of course, I talk about how Success Club is a non-negotiable, but and I go through that briefly and Emerald and that stuff. But the majority of the time I'm spending working on understanding what's going to motivate them. Why are they here? Not just the cookie cutter, I want to help people. Guys, helping people is not a why. I'm sorry. That is not your why. Helping people is what you do. That's your job title when you sign up as a Beachbody coach. That's not your why. The heart is what keeps people here. So if you keep asking questions and getting to know why they want this, they're going to stick around longer and be willing to push through that failure that they're going to experience. Number two, don't enable your team. I did this for 18 months. It's so easy to want to just give your coaches all the answers, right? You want them to succeed so bad, so you want to tell them everything, But I want you to think about it like you have 1,010 coaches on your team. I want you to think about it like you have 40,000 coaches on your team or 100,000 coaches on your team. Do you have the time to go through and answer all those little itty-bitty questions every single day? No, you don't have that time at all. Okay, so what we make very clear in our opening webinar and our GSR is that we use a hashtag GTS, Google that shit. And because chances are that a top coach has made a video in an area where you are facing struggle. There's a good chance it's out there. So instead of just going to your upline and saying, hey, what's the answer to this? What's the answer to this? Find the answer. Be an entrepreneur and challenge yourself to go find the answer yourself. Number two is the FAQ. I guarantee there's an FAQ on it somewhere. Find the FAQ on it. Number three, post in the team page and ask other people for help, because you're going to get a wide variety of answers. Because think about it. Would you rather have all of your thousands of coaches working with each other and kind of collaborating together? Or would you rather have them, all 40,000 of them, coming to you? Which would you rather have? So post on your team page. And then if they're still struggling, I have them come to me with a question. Challenge them, help them to become independent. Because what I did for almost 2 years was spoon feed my team everything. I spoon-fed them everything, and they weren't empowered to become leaders themselves. And what would happen when they recruited coaches? The same thing. Those coaches expected the information just to be given to them. And so instead of taking ownership and them going out there and starting their own challenge group, they were saying, Brad, when's the next challenge group going to start? Things like that. So you don't want to start a team like that, like I did. You want to learn from my failures here and go through and help them to become independent. Next thing, at the end of the day, this is always going to be a numbers game. And when you're first starting out, probably, your first few or would you understand that just one is actually going to run with this anyways? And you can keep recruiting. And guess what? When you find that one person is going to be like Val. They're going to go out there, or Gina. They're going to be those people that go out there and they're just going to do it. They're just going to figure it out. You're not going to have to chase them into this. So would you rather try to mobilize 10 people or just keep recruiting until you find people that are going to do it? So your job is to keep recruiting. And number 4, you need a system for that to happen. And the best part is that you have a system. You have a coach basics training that you can plug your team into. You have an Emerald to Diamond training, or a Diamond Dash, or whatever you call it, to plug your team into. You have a new coach open house. You have, challenge group scripts in the online office. You have these systems. And something I did not understand, another big failure of mine, is it does not matter what works. It matters what duplicates. I used to teach my team this big, long challenge pack script and what I would do to sell a challenge pack, and I was hitting, there was one month I hit Success Club 77, and that's awesome, right? Yay, Success Club 77. But was that duplicatable? Could I teach my team to do that? No, I could not teach them to do exactly that. So would I rather hit Success Club 77 every month, or hit Success Club 5 and teach my team how to do the same thing with a duplicatable system? I'd much rather, looking back, have just hit Success Club 10 and gone back and taught them how to do the same thing. People are not duplicatable, but systems are duplicatable, and it's taken care of for you. Your job is to give your coaches the opportunity to participate in those systems. Don't convince them, don't chase them, because you're going to get frustrated when there's no participation in your group. What I would do is I would reach out to my coaches and be like, will you please join this Coach Basics training? I know if you learn this, it's really going to help you succeed and to become an Emerald coach, and it's really going to help your business. But people are going to do what they want to do, okay? They're going to do what they want to do. You can't convince them. You can only control what you can control. And you can control giving people the opportunity to succeed. And when a system is in place, that makes it so much more efficient for you. Number 5. This is where I'm going to start getting real with you guys. Number 5, lead by example. I'm just going to be straight with you. If you're not hitting Success Club, you will not be successful at this. Understand that. Your business will not grow if you're not willing to hit Success Club. And Success Club is very simple. It means find 3 people. If you really want this, you can find 3 people. It's not hard to do if you really want this to happen. Oftentimes coaches say oh, it's so hard to hit Success Club. I'm like, no, it's not hard to hit Success Club. It just means you're not willing to work hard enough. That's what it means. If you're not hitting Success Club, you are not working hard enough to hit Success Club. Lead by example. If you want your team to recruit and bring in coaches, you have to be bringing in coaches. If you want your team to hit Success Club, you better be hitting Success Club. That feeling of pushing a rope is going to go away, and you're going to start pulling it, and you're going to find leaders that are going to pull it with you, and it's going to make it even easier to pull, and it's going to become a lot of fun. You cannot expect your coaches to do anything that you're not doing. So if you're making bullshit excuses with your workouts and drinking your shake, understand that it's not just for you to get healthy. It is that, but it's also because you're setting an example to the world that they're going to follow and be inspired by you. Think of your workouts and your Shakeology as a business decision. Because when you follow it and you get results, that brings in clientele, right? That brings in people who eventually become coaches. So if you're making BS excuses with your workouts and your shake, and your team's not going to do it either. They're not going to see it as a good something they need to do. It's not a vital behavior. Why do you think they're called vital, guys? And then my favorite one, personal development. If you're not willing to do personal development, seriously, think about what personal development does. 1, it gets your mind right. 2, it increases your skill set. And 3, it helps you tell your team what resources to look for if they're struggling in an area. Personally, there's a reason why top coaches recommend personal development, and it's not because, yay, rah, rah, let's make sure we're all feeling happy today. It's not that. It helps you feel happy, but think about it. If you want what successful people have, do what they recommend to do. Do what successful people recommend to do. And every successful coach you will talk to recommends personal development. So if you're not willing to make time for it, then your coaches aren't going to do it. A good rule of thumb is that your coaches are going to be doing about 75%, 80% of what you do. So if you're making BS excuses and you take an honest look at what you're doing, your coaches are going to do even less than that. Okay, number 6. And let me finish this point before you really judge what I mean by it. The point is, have an I don't give a shit mentality. And let me finish before you judge what I mean by that. What I mean is remove the emotional attachment to what someone does. What I do is I genuinely care about the person's goals and their dreams, and I believe in them unconditionally, and I want them to succeed so incredibly bad, and I know they can. But I remove the emotional attachment of my worth as a coach to what they do from my mind. Okay. And the reason for that is because people are going to come in, they're going to start off super strong. They're going to have 10 people and then some are going to quit. Some people are going to hit diamond, then they're going to slow down. Some people are going to say they want this really bad and then they're going to sit in their ass and make excuses and not do anything. When you remove that emotional attachment to what someone does, then you're going to be able to keep your focus on recruiting. And you're going to be able to find people that are going to fill you up, that are going to be fun to talk to all the time. When people turn emerald, then yeah, I'll invest a little bit more time in them. But if they're not willing to hit emerald rank, especially after the first few months, it's kind of like, shit or get off the pot. It's just, am I allowed to swear? Can I swear in here? I've been swearing. Okay, cool. I'm going to keep swearing. Let me get a sip of beer. Does anyone have beer? I'm going to get a sip of beer. There you go. Anyways, have a beer with me, guys. Anyways, when they go emerald, then I start paying a little more attention. Then I invest a little bit more time. But guys, emerald's not hard. I'm sorry, emerald is not hard. It's 2 people. And you guys have probably read The Compound Effect. And I'm assuming it's one of your requirements when you're starting off as new. Oh, I need to shave. When you're starting off as a new coach. And sorry, I just saw myself in the video camera. But in The Compound Effect, he talks about, there's this 20-foot 2x4 on the ground, right? And he says, walk across it. Okay, so you walk across the 2x4, no big deal, right? Then he puts that 2x4 in between 2 giant buildings. He says, go walk across the 2x4. And you're like, hell no, I'm not walking across the 2x4. It's above, 2 100-feet buildings in the sky. Now you put your kid on the building across from you, and that building is on fire. Are you going to walk across that 2x4? You're going to do anything you can to get across it no matter what. So that tells me if there's a reason why, someone's going to be motivated to do something. So if someone wants this business to work, they're going to hit emerald. If someone wants this, they will hit emerald. Emerald's not hard. Okay, so coaches on this call that aren't emerald yet, maybe you just started or maybe you've been struggling for a while, that's okay. I love you guys unconditionally, but I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm here to tell you what you need to hear. And it's, if you want this to work, you need to choose to act and do the work it takes to get to emerald. So anyways, the point with that entire spiel is remove the emotional attachment to what someone does, because some people are going to do different things and you cannot control what they do, but you can control what you do, and you can recruit more people to find people that will. Number 7, beer burp. Number 7, work with the willing. Okay, I know you guys have probably heard this, but have you ever heard of the Pareto principle? 20% of the people on your team will do 80% of the work. That is so incredibly true. And that 20% is going to be made up of people going all out, hitting Success Club 20, 30, whatever it is. That 20% is going to be made up of people just hitting Success Club 5, people generating a couple sales. And then there's going to be 80% of your team that just sits on their ass, and they're going to do absolutely nothing. I have this giant Excel spreadsheet of my downline, and it's funny that I have the people, the top 20% highlighted in green and the bottom 80% highlighted in red. And the top 20%, it's just the names, and they're all in Success Club every month. And then the 80% is this giant list of people that don't do anything. So that is so, so true. I don't know if you guys have ever listened to the audio, Jim Rohn's Building Your Network Marketing Business. If you haven't listened to that, buy it. It's like $4 or just listen to it on YouTube for free. But it's awesome, like highway, Drive Time University, I think what Brian Tracy calls it. I listen to it all the time. I probably listen to that thing maybe 30 or 40 times now. One of the things he talks about in there is reaping what you sow, the law of sowing and reaping. And that is so incredibly true. This relates to Success Club. Melissa, it's called Jim Rohn's Building Your Network Marketing Business. But this is the same thing. You reap what you sow, the law of cause and effect. If you're not in Success Club, it means you're not doing the work to hit Success Club. It means you're not working hard enough. This is about recruiting coaches, right? So Jim Rohn's reaping what you sow, it actually comes from the Bible. And I'm not going to get all religious on you, but it comes from there. And it basically talks about how there's this ambitious farmer, right? And this farmer has this amazing seed. And this seed is our world-class business opportunity and our world-class products. And the farmer's ambitious, and he's out in the field and he's sowing the seed. And some of that seed falls off, the side of the tractor or the side of the truck, and the birds come and get it. And the birds fly away with the seed. And we have a choice right there. We can either chase the birds or we can keep sowing the seed. Because what happens when you chase the birds? You leave the field, right? You leave the field where you're going to harvest a crop. So those are your people that, you plug into a new coach open house, and then someone says, oh, you're not doing network marketing, are you? And then they get scared away, and then they don't call you back, especially when they're all on board. Those are those people. Then you're going to throw the seed, and it's going to land on thorny ground, and the thorns are going to strangle it to death. Those are your people that last a week. They sign up, and they make a decision that they're going to do this when really all they did was sign up to try until things got uncomfortable. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to sign up for a week, and then they're going to go. And we can either ask why and try to convince them to stay, or we can keep sowing the seed. And then then it's going to land on rocky ground. And when it lands on rocky ground, the sun is going to fry it to death. And those are your people that make excuses. They'll stick around, but they're not doing anything. Oh, I had to go to, the show the other night, and that's why I can't invite 5 people a day. Whatever it is, we can either convince them to come back and invite, or we can keep sowing the seed. And finally, it's going to land in good soil. And some of those seeds are going to grow to 30% of their potential. Some are 60, some are 100. We can either try to convince the 30s to do 100 and try to make them better and make them be like, I'm going to make them successful if it kills me. Or you can just keep on sowing the seed until you find more 100s. Don't ask why, just let them do what they're going to do and lead by example and inspire. So going off of what I just said about how this is a numbers game, knowing that you're going to get 1 out of 10 people to actually do this, wouldn't it make sense to just keep recruiting? Especially when that 1 out of 10 people is going to do it anyways. They're just going to be on board and on fire with this. Think about this. The key to Success Club, the key to bigger paychecks, the key to a bigger team is more people. That's it. Literally just more people. So to find more people, you need to recruit more people. So spend 80% of your time recruiting. In fact, most people do the opposite. They spend 20% of their time recruiting and 80% on business support functions, making a good picture on PickMonkey or stalking top coaches to see what they're doing, whatever it is. They spend 80% of their time on things that will support their business and 20% of the time on the shit that actually creates results. If you spend 80% of your time on those invites and getting the word out, your business will change dramatically. That's what happened for me. I did the opposite for almost 2 years. So a lot of times with this business, side note, kind of a time management talk here. A lot of times the things that we don't like doing the most are the things that create the most result, right? Personally, I hate inviting. I love personal development. I love working out. I love Shakeology. I hate inviting, but I do it first in my day. I rock it out and I do it first throughout my day because I feel empowered when I get done with it, and then I can cruise through all the other stuff that I got to do. But going kind of back to what I just said, Tommy Migrant told me this once, and it blew my mind when he said it. He goes, would you rather run with 3 or carry 100 on your back? What would you rather have? Would you rather run with 3 or carry 100 on your back? So spend 80% of your time recruiting. And just to give a metaphor of this, college business career fairs. Why do companies come back every year at colleges, right? Why do they do that? Because people leave, people quit, people find something else, they get transferred. They have to keep on recruiting every single year in order to find those lifers that are going to stay with the company and rise to executive level leadership positions, right? So if a Fortune 500 company is recruiting every year, We need to be recruiting every year. So anyways, I made the point about constant recruitment. Val, if I go past 10, is that okay? Yeah? You guys cool that you guys can just hop off if not? Okay. The next thing I want to talk about is being grateful. I can't even begin to tell you how much this has changed my business. Having a different relationship with disappointment. I don't know if you guys can relate to this. What I used to do is be like, why is my team not growing? Why are my coaches not in Success Club? What's going wrong? Why is this not working? And I would find that I was just attracting more of that. More of people not hitting Success Club, or I guess less people hitting Success Club, I guess is how you would say that. Less people in Success Club, people not doing the work. If I was focusing on lack, Melissa, I love that. If I was focusing on lack, I would get more lack. I would get less of what I want. But when you have a different relationship with disappointment, everything changes. So instead of focusing, why is this not working? Be like, what can I do to achieve Success Club? What can I do to find more coaches that are working? What can I do to recruit more? It's a completely different mindset. It's basically you're focusing on problem on one side and solution on the other, right? And if you're focusing on solutions, it's going to be, oh, she got a beer. Nice. There you go. If you're focusing on solutions, everything is going to change. This business is always going to be 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And you need to prepare for the 1 step back ahead of time. And you do that by having a different relationship with disappointment, knowing that it's going to happen before it does. So when it does happen, you're prepared for it. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the movie The Secret. I have a rock that I carry around with me. Just a little rock, keep it in my pocket. And every single time I touch this rock, you guys can make fun of me, I don't care. Every single time I touch this rock, I share something that I'm grateful for, okay, with myself. I don't need to say it out loud. I just say, hey, I'm grateful to be on this team call. I'm grateful to have a friend like Val, whatever it is. I share something I'm grateful for. And it's not going to be a direct correlation to solving whatever problem you're facing in your business. But what you'll notice is that you're just happier. You just end up being happier all the time. And when you're happier all the time, it's amazing how much less people see bullshit in your conversations. They don't see your Facebook posts as BS. When you're happier all the time, things start coming into your life. So every time I touch this rock, I say something I'm grateful for, and it just makes me happier. So try that exercise. Try it for a week. I thought it was a load of BS when that movie recommended I did it, but I tried it. I just said, okay, I'm going to take what successful people do and apply it and try it. And it changed a lot. It changed everything. I was just happier, and I was attracting more good things into my life because I was grateful for the things that we have. We focus so much time on what we don't have. I don't have a lot of money. I don't have this nice car. I don't have a big team. But what do you have? You have a roof over your head. You're breathing. You have an amazing team of people that love you for you unconditionally. That's a good thing. So when you focus on that, you're going to get more of that. So be grateful for what you have, because that law of attraction, I seriously thought it was a load of BS. It's so true. It's so real. Focus on what you're grateful for, and you're going to find more good things in your life. So I want to switch out of this and go into the last portion of the conversation. This is kind of the, no BS, let's get our ish together part of the conversation. And I'm going to drink a little bit of beer before this because I get really riled up and really passionate and sometimes start crying. So just bear with me. I don't know if I'm going to today, but it happens. Anyways, so this is the part of the conversation where I want to find the people on this team that want to change more than they want to stay the same. I want to know if you're that person that wants to change more than you want to stay the same. That was me. When I made the switch, when my business started growing, I made a decision in my head. I want my life to change more than I want it to stay the same. Everyone in this business is going to grow at different rates. You can't spend your time worrying or comparing yourself to other people. Here's an example. Val. Val started at the same time as me, I think a little bit after me. 3 months after me. And her team is double the size of mine. Does that mean that I'm a bad coach? Does that mean that I can't be successful because her team is bigger than mine? Does that mean that I can't influence lives? It doesn't mean that. People grow at different rates. And another example, Nikki Whiting or Brittany Leggett, they started around the exact same time as me. And their business is much bigger than mine. Guys, you cannot compare yourself to other people. You can't, because some people are going to sign up and turn emerald in 24 hours. Some people are going to sign up and turn emerald in a couple months. Some people are going to sign up and turn, diamond in 4 days. Some people are going to turn emerald in a year and a half. Okay. Everyone grows at different rates. You cannot compare your story to their story. It's completely different circumstances. Be happy for them and use their story for inspiration and motivation as something to push for. Be excited for how their life is changing and be proud to be friends with them. Melanie Mitchell, I think, sat at Diamond for a year before her business took off. Michelle Meyer sat at 2-star for 2.5 years. I sat at 2-star for a year as well. And then I dropped rank back to Diamond, and then I just got it back. So you can never compare yourself to other people because they grow at different rates. Rank does not equal leader. Influence equals leader. You all have the ability to motivate and inspire another person to be better than they were yesterday, and that has absolutely nothing to do with that little rank attached to your Team Beachbody online office. So knowing that rank doesn't equal leader, decide right now what type of team player you want to become. You're going to learn from every single coach regardless of rank. So if you're a brand new coach, that means you can choose to lead right now. You can either choose to sit on the sidelines and wait for someone to come and spoon feed you, like I helped my team to feel like for the first 2 years I was doing this, or you can take the lead, knowing that you are going to fail at this more than you have ever failed at something in your entire life, and knowing that's how you're going to learn and grow. So you can either wait, and that's never going to happen, or you can take the lead. I had no idea what I was talking about when I started out as a coach, and it was scary, but I was a leader from day one. And you can do that too. I remember that feeling of being a new coach, and it almost feels like you're drinking out of a fire hose, right? There's so much information coming at you, and you have to balance this with a family life and full-time or overtime job and kids and soccer practice and whatever you got going on. And it's scary as hell to take the lead, but I can promise you right now that if you take the lead starting right now, you are going to be so thankful that you did. So I want to go into a couple of those things that make a lot of coaches hold themselves back and reject themselves before other people even have the opportunity to reject them. And the first thing is fear. Coaches get in their own way, and this happened to me. And these are some of the things I remember experiencing when I first started out, and maybe you guys can relate to it. But maybe you raise your hand if you've ever been afraid to post on social media. Anyone? Okay. Now think of your life and think of where you've been inspired by someone. If you're a personally sponsored coach of Val's, you were probably inspired by something vulnerable she said, and that caused you to follow her. So if you want to make an impact and have people follow you and lead with you, knowing that you are motivated by vulnerability, wouldn't it make sense to be vulnerable? That thing that's scary to post, that's the thing that you have to click post on, close your eyes and walk away, shut your computer, because that's what's going to relate to the most people. Think about it. You're a Beachbody coach and we're paid to share our story. Other people in this world aren't going to naturally do that, but they're waiting for someone to come save them. And you can be that person. What about, have you ever been afraid of what people might think of you? Anyone? I used to be terrified of what people would think of me. And here's a big thing. When you focus on what other people think of you, you're taking the focus completely off of helping other people and putting it completely onto yourself. It's selfish. Because chances are, and this is just blunt, people don't give a shit about you. They don't. Your team does, and the people that we're with here do, but other people in the world, they don't care about you. They care that you have a solution for a need that they have. So you can be that person to fill that need. What about ever been afraid to fail? That's a big one. I've been afraid to fail a lot of times. Now, here's my favorite one. Let me pull out my list. How many of you guys have ever been afraid of this business because you don't know how the hell you're going to balance it with a full-time or overtime job, and it's getting in the way and you don't know how you're going to do it? Anyone? I love that thumbs up, Katie. There you go. Okay. So this is going to be brutal, and I might tear you guys a new one here, but I remember that feeling of being absolutely terrified, and I wasn't going to be able to grow this business when my coach presented this to me. And the reason I said no to building this was because I was working 80 hours a week at my full-time job. I was working 16, 17-hour days, I did not have a life. I didn't have any money, and I had a long-distance girlfriend. And I want to call out right now that it is the most illegitimate excuse out there. It is a well-planned lie that you are making to yourself if you're saying you don't have time to do this. Understand something. If you want something you've never had, you have to do something you've never done and make sacrifices accordingly. So if you work a full-time job and you've ever used it as an excuse not to build your Beachbody business, and be honest with yourself if that's you, and that's okay, because I did that too. We can't focus on the past. We can learn from it. But the first 8.5 months of this business, I was working 14 to 16-hour days, 5-6 days a week, working from home, long-distance girlfriend, $40 in my checking account. And I know what it's like working long hours and have the ability to make excuses. But for the first 8.5 months of coaching, I worked my ass off at work and came home and made sacrifices so I could live a life of freedom. You can't tell me for 1 second that you don't have time. You do have time. You have limited time, but successful coaches make time. They see the long-term possibility and they make the short-run sacrifices to make it happen. A common excuse I hear with people on my team is, I'm just going to wait until this project at work is done, or when the kids are done with soccer practice, and that's when I'll pick this back up. And that's when I feel like I'll have more time to really go with this. Understand something. There will never be a right time to change your life, ever. Something else will always come up, and I can guarantee you that. There will never be a right time, but that time is going to pass anyways. So you have a choice right now as a Beachbody coach. You have a choice. You can keep using it as a great reason why you're going to stay the exact same place in your life, or you're going to do what successful people do and see it as an obstacle that you'll make it through regardless of the sacrifice. And I say that word sacrifice. The reason why I am where I am now, why Val is where she is, or Melanie Mitro, or all these top coaches, besides failing and engaging in personal development and the vital behaviors, is sacrifices. All my buddies were going out. I was working. I had to be at work at 6 in the morning. I was up and I got home at 11 p.m. I was up at 4:30 p.m. or 4:30 a.m. sending out messages. It was 11 p.m. when I got home from work, and instead of grabbing a beer and watching Netflix, I would, I'd make a shake and I'd do a workout. If you have a full-time job, you need to understand this is never going to just magically happen for you. It's not just going to come and all of a sudden be a successful business. You need to make sacrifices. And the best part about it is that it's completely up to you. Some of you guys are doing this more as a hobby, and sure, you might not think of it or see it as much of a reason, and that's okay. But those that do want this to work, you need to make sacrifices. You need to have those honest conversations with your family. You need to understand that you might not be able to make that ballet recital on Wednesday night because you got to do your Beachbody work, but it's going to allow you to be there for every dance recital in the future. You need to understand the concept of sacrifices. So ask yourself that question right now. What would it feel like if in 1 year from now your life was completely and totally enriched in such a positive way? What would you be willing to do? Would you have enough belief in the unknown to keep pushing? I saw an opportunity where if I sacrifice time now, in the short run, I would have way more time in the future. So I made a lot of sacrifices. I got no sleep. I said no to a lot of things. And for the last 2 years, the last year and 3/4 or whatever, I pick my own hours. I see all my friends. I'm up in Chicago for 2 weeks with my family, working from home. I have the freedom of time and choice, but it would not have been possible if I didn't make sacrifices up front. So in order for that to happen, you need a clear vision of what your why truly is, and ask yourself what you're willing to do to make that happen. The only way you're going to be able to do it is if you have a clear vision of it. And that why is what drives you. We always talk about the why, right? And it's not like I want to help people. Yay, go Beachbody. It's not that. It's what's going to make you get shit done instead of watching Netflix. It's why you're on this call. It's what drives you. And a lot of coaches mix up their goals and their why. I ask a lot of coaches what their why is, and their response is, I want to help people. I want to earn a high 6-figure income. I want to take a vacation. I want to retire my spouse. I want to be able to quit my full-time job and fire my boss. This sounds crazy. That's not your why. Your why is the emotional attachment to those goals coming true. It's the what would it feel like if? What would it feel like if I were earning a high 6-figure income? What would I be able to do with that? How many lives could I impact? Where would I be able to go? Where would I be able to travel? What could I do for my wife? What could I do for whatever it is? It's the emotion of those things coming true. What if you could take your kids on vacation and not have to worry and be able to see your little girl in the Dumbo ride in Disneyland? Think about that. For a lot of parents, they're not able to take their kid to Disneyland, and it's the kid's biggest dream. What if you could? What would that feel like? You know, that's your why. It's the emotion that comes to mind. It's what drives you. I remember having these feelings of being terrified, and fear is that thing that holds us back from pursuing those dreams. Fear is that thing that makes us think twice before we even consider trying. Everything you ever want in your life will always be on the other side of fear. It's the thing that's going to hold you back. So I challenge you right now to attack this business in a different way than normal. Successful people are always optimistic. So instead of asking yourself, what if you fail? Because trust me, you are going to fail at this business way more than you will ever succeed. Your success is dependent on your ability to accept failure as how you get to your goals. You're going to fail more than you've ever failed before. So instead of asking yourself, what if I fail? Ask yourself, what if I succeed? What if my why does come true? You know, what if I use the time I spend at work as the reason to push harder instead of the excuse not to? What if I can retire my husband? What if I can travel the world without having to worry? What if I can change thousands of lives? What if I succeed? That's your new mentality. Everything you want is going to be on the other side of fear. There's a reason why the majority of people won't even consider doing what we do. It's because they're afraid. You're not most people. You're special. You're a Beachbody coach, and there's so much social identity behind what we do. I'm a fireman, right? I'm an actor. I'm a police officer, and it's cool to say those things, but people are so afraid to say I'm a Beachbody coach. Accept the fact that helping people is really freaking cool. You are a Beachbody coach, and it's okay to say that. Take pride in that. That inner strength you have to say it needs to be stronger than 99% of people out there. That's why you're here right now. Instead of watching Netflix, you want this. You joined an industry that's going to be the cause of a lot of envy. Embrace that, because whatever adversity is in your life, whatever you're struggling with, that's your advantage. That's what's going to drive you. Use that inner strength to push through any excuse you could make. So what's your vision? What do you want out of this business? You know, ask yourself 3 questions. What do you want? What are you willing to do to make it happen? And how the hell are you going to get there? Figure it out along the way. Most people don't ask how. So guys, in closing, there's no difference whatsoever between Val, Melissa, Gina, Katie, Pam, Mackenzie, myself, anyone. There is no difference whatsoever in the ability of these people, but there might be a difference in the behavior. We decide to act and use this momentum you feel coming out of this team call and harness it to exponentially grow our business. We're deciding to live life by design. I don't give a shit if you're a coach that signed up 5 years ago or 5 minutes ago. I don't care if you're an elite coach or a brand new coach or an emerald coach. You all have a story that you can share. You all have the ability to impact and change someone's life. And it has nothing to do with that rank attached to your Team Beachbody online office. If you're brand new, don't worry about knowing enough about the products. You can learn with time. Just have passion and excitement about what this does for people. Just try it and do it and fall on your ass a couple of times and get back up, and then fall on your ass again and then get back up, and then go out there and try to fall on your ass again, because failure is the only way you're going to succeed at this. If you're that type of person that's going to try and learn everything without going out there and doing and trying this, be honest with yourself right now and take a good hard look at your business. If that's you, you're giving up on your own abilities. You're lying about your own potential. You're not going to be able to build this business nearly as efficiently with that mindset. There's no difference whatsoever between any of us. You just need to go out there and do, and give no excuses. And listen to Val, who is a top elite coach, who happens to be one of the best coaches in the entire company. Listen to her. She knows what to do. She's been a new coach before. Don't make that excuse to let it go in one ear and out the other because it works. She wouldn't recommend it if it didn't work. Make something happen. Success in this business will never just come to you. You need to go full throttle at this if you want it to grow. Some of you guys are going to listen to what I'm saying, and you're going to go all in. And you're going to dive in after this call, and you're going to be like, fuck yeah, this is awesome. I feel amazing. And half of you guys are going to put on the brakes, and you're going to feel out the water a little bit. Well, guess what, guys? You can keep dipping your toe in the water, or you can just dive in, understanding that it's really freaking cold, and you're just going to have to get used to it. That's what you're going to have to do. Half of you guys are going to go all in, and half of you guys are going to put on the brakes. When you're making the decision on if you're going to slow down or not, answer one question. What would it feel like if in 1 year from now your life was completely and totally different? Would you be willing to make sacrifices and do what I recommended today for 1 year and look back at your life and have that time with your little girl? Have that 6-figure income, be able to spend time with your spouse and do whatever you want, retire your husband from the military, whatever it is. Success will never just happen. You need to go out there and fail to succeed. Write this down. Success in this business is not a matter of your life circumstance. It has nothing to do with what's going on in your life. We want to make a big drama of all the shit we got going on as to why we can't be successful. Success in this business is not a matter of that circumstance. It is literally your choice that you can make. Success in this business is a decision. It's not a matter of obstacles. It's a decision. So decide right now that you're not going to let where you are now bring it down. The past is the past and you can only move forward. If you have not hit Success Club in May yet, that's okay. Decide right now that you're going to, and use this momentum that you feel coming out of this team call to move forward, and decide to invite and decide to do personal development. Make it a priority. Decide to do workouts and drink your shake. Decide that you're going to be successful, and attack it with faith and believe it's possible, and attack it with enthusiasm and get excited and passionate about how your life is going to change, and do the action, the day-to-day steps every freaking day to go out there and be successful and make that decision you're going to be successful no matter what, and be here 1 year from now. I just said do it for a year. As a new coach, I had no idea why the hell my coach would tell me that, but trust me, if you apply this for 1 year, you're going to look back at your life and it's going to be completely and totally different. My last challenge is that you just apply it and run with it and make no excuses. And make that decision right now that you're going to go out there and change people's lives, and make that decision right now to push through that fear, knowing that your inner strength needs to be stronger than anything going on up here. You make that decision right now to push through fear, and make that decision right now and promise me and promise yourself right now that instead of shrinking your dreams to the size of your income, you're going to go out there every single day and build your income to the size of your dreams, because you can. I believe in you. I know it's possible, and I'm getting choked up just thinking about it. So Val, that's all I got for you. I hope that was helpful, and I can questions if you guys have some.
Holy cow, like you're awesome. That was seriously like one of the best calls ever. And I swear, like it's true. Everything. You guys have heard me say exact words pretty much. Every call recording I've ever had you listen to, top coaches, successful coaches, we learn from our failures. Guys, I had a goal of 12-star diamond today, and I am 6-star today. Okay? Like, yeah, did it suck really bad this morning? I was down on myself. But then I'm like, I turned my thoughts around because, Brad, you're so right. Look at what you're so grateful for, because I'm so grateful for this team. I'm so grateful for every person that I've helped play even this much of a part in changing lives. And a rank is just a number. Okay, I'd rather be a leader for you guys on this team. And you guys make that decision of what you're going to do with your business. But it's cool. This was amazing. Like amazing. I couldn't stop taking notes just because it was so good. Do you guys have any questions for Brad?
I don't bite. Promise.
Type it in the chat bar if you want.
I don't have any questions, but great job. Cheers.
Thanks, Melissa.
I love it. Brad, I just appreciate so much for you to take time out of your night. I mean, and guys, really just appreciate this, because he did not have to be here on this call. There is no reward or benefit for him whatsoever to take time out of his evening to come and talk to us tonight. So I'm just so happy that we met at the Success Club trip. Again, why events are so important. I would have never met Brad. We worked out together doing T25 in the gym. See, we don't use the gym equipment. We use our laptops doing the workouts in the gym. So that was cool. It was fun.
Well, I'm pretty sure we're going to be like besties now.
Yeah, we are totally going to be besties. So, all right. I will let you guys go. So much appreciated, Brad. I hope you have an awesome night. I hope all of you guys do. Go back and listen to this recording. Share with your teams. I know that there were a lot of people who could not make it tonight with graduations and preschools and vacations and all that jazz. So listen to the recording, take notes, and implement what you heard tonight, because it's so true. All right. Bye, guys. Have a great night.